Nika Lewis, thanks so much for joining us. 189 candidates were nominated across the 63 constituencies today to contest the September 3 general elections. We'll have team coverage across the island momentarily. But first, there's condemnation tonight from the Press Association of Jamaica over what it calls unprecedented disclosure by both political parties of their objections to specific journalists serving as questioners or moderators for the upcoming national debates. On Sunday, the Jamaica Debates Commission wrote to both political parties expressing disappointment that the names of journalists were published, breaching the confidentiality agreement. President of the Press Association, Dashin Hendricks, told CVM News the disclosures undermine the negotiation process and raise troubling questions.
For the first time ever in Jamaica's history, we're having a debate, and the names of journalists who have been thought about to participate in that debate have been released publicly, even before some of those journalists were contacted by the Jamaica Debates Commission. And that brings us some amount of concern at the PAJ.
The PAJ says historically, such matters have been handled discreetly and internally by the Jamaica Debates Commission to safeguard the integrity essential to the democratic process. The association says this alarming development threatens to erode the independence and integrity of the press by politicizing the role of journalists.
Must hold up their authority to ensure some amount of transparency and fairness in the selection of the journalists who are going to be in that pool and not be influenced by political parties. Yes, they may have a say, but they don't get to select who gets on that panel to question the debaters in the national debates.
Mr. Hendricks says the political parties must reassert their commitment to respecting and upholding the freedom of the press. The first of the 3 national debates will take place this Saturday, August 23, about social issues. The second debate will be about the economy on Tuesday, August 26. The series will end with the leadership debate between Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and opposition leader Mark Golding on Thursday, August 28. All debates will be staged at the Creative Productions and Training Center in Kingston and will be live on CVM TV. In the meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness was asked about both political parties objecting to the inclusion of some journalists for the national debates. Expressing what he says were his personal views, Dr. Holness says, quote, political parties do not have the luxury of choosing who interrogates them.
The PNP is exuding a certain arrogance that the people of Jamaica should read very carefully. I find it to be totally anti-democratic, and it's a bit of hypocrisy because they talk about supporting the press, but the evidence of their action is to be seen.
In the meantime, following his nomination in West Central St. Andrew today, CVM's Curlin Brown asked the Prime Minister what would happen if his party loses the general election 16 days from now.
Parties are committed to winning. What if on the day your party comes out on the losing end?
Look, when you go into any campaign, you prepare to win, you prepare to lose. Right now, we have worked very hard. There's no question about that. The PNP cannot contest us on performance. So if you go by the logic that Jamaicans are logical people, reasonable people, and they will vote on performance.
The leader of the People's National Party and South St. Andrew Member of Parliament, Mark Golding, was officially nominated today. He arrived to much fanfare with supporters turning out in their numbers. Raymond Morrison has more in this report.
And on a net favourability basis, I'm significantly ahead of Andrew Holness because he has such a high unfavourability rating. I think the momentum is definitely with the People's National Party, coming out of the publishing of our manifesto and all of the ideas that we have in there, and there's a little more to come as well in due course with that.
Well, the buzz of nomination day continues this time in St. Andrew Eastern, where candidates officially threw their hats into the political ring. Our reporter there, Akeem Aret, files this report.
Cheers, flags and chants. It was all excitement and energy in St. Andrew Eastern on nomination day. The roadway along Mona High School was painted in green and orange as both the Jamaica Labour and People's National Party signaled readiness for the polls. Just after 10 Tuesday morning, Patricia Duncan Sutherland, who last vied for Clarendon South Eastern, roped in hoping to change the colour of the constituency. As she marched her way to the nomination area, she was supported by husband, sisters and PNP stalwart Beverly Manley Duncan. Though contending in a hot seat, she says her chances of securing the seat are strong.
I think my chances are very good, but nothing to be taken for granted. So we're working right up until 5 o'clock on September 3rd, and then we're going to jump up and see. Yes, because time comes.
Marching on a road that's not strange to her, it's where her parents lived. She did not hold back. Sutherland has accused the Jamaica Labour Party of using money to sway Jamaicans to the polls.
We know that the Jamaica Labour Party, they generally run a campaign where they come in at the end with a whole heap of money and things to try to sway the voters. And in a country where things are tough and times are tough, because it has not been run in a way that people can really manage themselves, it might be easy for them, or it might be an opportunity for them to sway the voter with a little bit of money for them just home.
Fast forward to 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. Finance Minister and two-term Member of Parliament for the constituency, Favour Williams, entered the chat with the Labourites. Her entourage included her past PNP contender in the 2020 election, Venetia Phillips, and wife of the former Prime Minister Hugh Shearer, Denise Shearer, and other GLP supporters. Heading for her third term, Williams says the feeling is nothing short of honoured.
It's really humbling because it says to you your work has been appreciated over the last 2 terms, and that's heartening for me. I want to continue to do the work that's there to be done.
Williams points to her track record, insisting that the work done over her 2 terms has transformed the constituency.
You walk into every single community, I can point to you something that I have done to better the community and to better people's lives, whether it be ensuring that their football field or netball court is upgraded, taking down zinc fence, roads that were not ever repaired, making sure that those are repaired. Still a lot of roads to be done.
Ending the nomination day on high energy, both candidates are now shifting their focus to the campaign trail. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Meanwhile, amid growing concerns over the increase of the public sector workers' increments, Finance Minister Favour Williams is noting that the government of Jamaica is doing the best it can despite the dissatisfaction from teachers and other workers.
We are committed to doing the best that we can by public sector workers as best as the country can afford to do. You would have noticed as well, and the communication is out there, that for this fiscal year 25-26, we would have given the majority of the public sector workers 7.5% increase already. And it's not back money, it's for fiscal 25-26. But again, you can take assurance in the words of the Prime Minister that this nation will do the best that we can to provide for our public sector work.
2 separate collisions involving motorcyclists marred nomination day activities in St. Andrew Eastern. The first incident happened shortly after 11, involving a biker from the People's National Party's motorcade with the PNP candidate Patricia Duncan Sutherland shortly after she was nominated at the Mona High School. It's alleged that the biker crashed into a high-ace bus which was traveling in the same direction. The bus driver assisted in getting the injured man to hospital for treatment. Not long after, the other mishap occurred along Hope Road, directly across from the U.S. Embassy, involving another PNP supporter who collided with a Toyota Axio shortly after Jamaica Labour Party candidate Favour Williams completed her nomination. Fortunately, no injuries were reported in that incident. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is again reminding all road users to be cautious on the nation's roads. And the leader of the People's National Party and a South St. Andrew Member of Parliament, Mark Golding, was officially nominated today. He arrived to much fanfare and supporters turning out in their numbers. With the details, here's Raymond Morrison.
Not take anything for granted. Let us not assume a win already. We don't win yet. We will not win until every ballot is counted. Every vote has to count. And I'm asking each of you to make sure that on election day you come out and put your X squarely beside the head.
And that's the directive from the opposition leader as he was officially nominated Monday to contest the South St. Andrew seat. Golding arrived to cheers and celebrations, surrounded by supporters who turned out in their numbers to show solidarity. He will be facing the GLP's Carlton Jones. However, many see the seat as a secured one for the opposition leader. Given the history of St. Andrew Southern as a PNP stronghold, Golding notes that while he remains confident, democracy means every vote counts.
I respect of the right of the voters to make their choice. This is a democracy. Obviously, I'm confident and hopeful because I have an excellent team that helped me. Even though I have a lot of national duties, we try to keep the constituency organization very strong, and we don't take anything for granted. So we've been doing the work, and I have had the opportunity to do some walking in the constituency, not as much as I would have normally liked, but I've been as present as I could be, and I believe that we're going to get a good result.
And the party leader didn't miss the opportunity to reflect on the team's preparations over the last few years, highlighting efforts to strengthen his administration, which critics and citizens alike have classified as weak.
We have been spending the last several years strengthening the organization of the party and reconnecting with our base. We have a very considerable base, People's National Party. And if you look at what happened between 2011 and 2020, our numbers fell by 160,000. And we have basically spent time reconnecting and re-energizing that base, and they're ready to come out and vote for us and strengthening our organization.
And while Monday was about his nomination in South St. Andrew, Golding reminded supporters that his sights are set beyond a constituency victory.
I have to try my best to deliver a national victory, not just a constituency victory. So fortunately, the constituents, the voters, the residents are very understanding of that, and they like to see the way the party has been moving forward so powerfully in recent times. Everybody is very happy about that. So they give me the necessary flexibility so that I can acquit my responsibilities at the national level.
With nominations now complete, all eyes turn to September 3, where the real contest will be decided at the polls. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
And as you learned, Mark Golding nominated today in South St. Andrew, setting his sights on both a constituency and a national win come September 3. Our reporter Raymond Morrison joins us now in studio to discuss Golding's favorability and how he stacks up against the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, in recent polls.
Thanks, Nika. And while today was about his nomination in South St. Andrew, Mark Golding was also touched on his national standing, pointing to polls that show him almost tied with Prime Minister Andrew Holness in terms of favorability. Let's take a look.
And on a net favorability basis, I'm significantly ahead of Andrew Holness because he has such a high unfavorability rating. I think the momentum is definitely with the People's National Party, coming out of the publishing of our manifesto and all of the ideas that we have in there, and there's a little more to come as well in due course with that.
All right, so we heard about a poll. What are your thoughts based on what he shared with you, aside from what he shared in that bite?
So we've seen where some critics and the public, they've said that there's a case where Mark might be trying to be a little more relatable with citizens. And I feel like the poll, it might give him some form of confidence or edge, as some would put it, to say that, hey, you're connecting with citizens.
Based on what he just shared. And when you saw the crowds, it was your first time in that sort of setting.
Right.
What was it like for you as a young Jamaican looking on?
I'm happy you said young because we've seen a trend now or a pattern where more young people, they're open to voting and to just have a say in Jamaica's future. And a lot of people, whether it's PNP or JLP, they're coming out, a lot of Gen Zs, we're seeing them coming out, going to the polling station, but we won't really know until September 3 who really has a voter's ID to really cast that vote.
They always say crowds don't win elections. With that, thank you so much, Raymond. But with that, we take a break. More CVM news at 7 in a moment.